Welcome back to Horse Sense and Training. We are definitely answering questions today, so let's get this started. Jen from St. Louis asked us, I always question when I should be giving electrolytes. Is it ever bad on a hot workout competition? So we're going to break this down for you, but let's start with this. Electrolytes are kind of can be a difficult decision whether to give them, not give them. And basically, you hear people all the time say, well, just give them to them after your horse sweats. But the why, the when, and how much actually does matter. So let's talk about it.
Well, first off, let me just tell you this. Christine nor I are veterinarians, and we don't claim to be, and we're not trying to take the place of your veterinarian after 50 some years in the horse business and about 1,000 head of horses. We still don't play veterinarian, but we are one and two of the very best veterinarian assistants you could ever find, because we've been there, we've done that. Can we do IVs? Yeah, we can do IVs. Can we float teeth? Yes, we can float teeth. Can we palpate mares? Yes, we can palpate mares. Can we read an ultrasound? Yes, we can read an ultrasound. But again, we're not veterinarians. When it comes to electrolytes, one of the big things is that you need your horse to be able to have the minerals that are involved in electrolytes. The fluid balance in the overall body, the muscle contraction, their nerve function, and one of the key issues, it triggers their thirst response. Why do we give electrolytes? To maintain the balance of all the things I just described. How do we give them the electrolytes? Well, the most common manner is to put the electrolyte powder into their water bucket. Now let's talk about the drawback with that situation. Why are we doing this? Well, we're trying to make sure that the horses are hydrated for whatever discipline you're running, okay? Doesn't matter. If you're doing halter work, they still sweat. They still need to have the cooling mechanisms working. So, is there a drawback to putting electrolyte powder in their water? Yes, there is. If it negates the horse to want to drink that water, then you're not helping anything. If they don't take it in, if they don't consume it, doesn't do them any good. Just makes the buckets heavy. So what alternatives do we have to make sure they get the right amount of electrolytes? Well, we have it in paste form. Can you OD them on paste? Yes, you can. Normally, does their body function and metabolize the electrolytes through their system and then pass it out? Yes, generally speaking. But if you were to go crazy thinking they need more and more and more, and you give them 3 or 4 full tubes of electrolytes, yeah, you could OD them, okay? All right. Bottom line is, we want them to drink. Here at Royal Oak, we have automatic waters, heated automatic waters in the winter. We have virtually eliminated colic. Been years, okay? The bottom line is this: without water, they're going to colic. Without electrolytes, they're going to tie up, and they will not sweat properly. So what is the key issue? We'll make sure that the electrolytes and the minerals are available. How do we do it here? Right there. This is called a mineral brick. Any brand is fine. This is American Stockman. They've been around a long, long time. This is what it looks like when we put it in their stall feeder, right down in the grain. Because guess what happens? When we put the grain in there, this thing, they move it. They move it back and forth. It's heavy. It's heavy. They move it back. And little chips and little flakes and little powder comes off of this salt, just like it did right here on my desk. And that mixes in the grain, and that makes them thirsty, and they rehydrate. Okay? Now, want to see how much they use them? This is what it started with. Same horse, 3 days later, has licked it smooth, and it is about half the size of that mineral brick. That's how much they will, in fact, devour these. Okay? Some of them, immediately when we put a fresh brick in there, you can hear them crunching and chewing. Can they OD on that? No, not really. They'll stop when their tongue gets a little bit sensitive, because that's what salt does. But it also makes them thirsty. And that's what we're after. Drink, drink, and more drink. We'll clean the stalls. It's okay. Pee up a storm, because that's what we want. Okay? Jen's question is basically when to hydrate or when to give electrolytes. Well, depending on what sport you're involved in. If you are going to be playing polo, for example, and you know it's a hot afternoon out on the field, well, you're not going to hydrate them and you're not going to electrolyte them while they're standing there. That needs to happen several days before. Can you give them mineral water, basically, or electrolyte water during the match? Yeah, but that generally doesn't happen. And do you do it after the match? Yes, you do. Before, during, and after is perfection. Before, during, and after. The key issue is to make sure they have plenty of fresh water. For those of you that are using water buckets, and you're in the majority, if you only allow the horse to have 5 gallons of water in a 5-gallon bucket, and you fill it up in the morning and they don't get any more till after you get home from work, that's not a good situation. At the very minimum, double the buckets in the stall. Or put a muck bucket, take a clean muck bucket, okay, and put it in the corner of the stall and fill it up. We know this much. If your horse has 5 gallons of water provided by you because you filled up the 5-gallon bucket, that's a wonderful thing. What if the horse desires 6 gallons? You're not there. And it has to go without. So provide ample water. Electrolytes, use them as needed. If you see your horse sweating profusely, you're a little late. So think ahead. What is my horse going to be doing? Approximately how much sweating is it going to be? If you're on the trail, hopefully you have freshwater streams to allow them to refresh themselves. But if you're not in a place like that, you have to think ahead and make sure they have the electrolytes available. Okay? So and always go by the manufacturer's instructions. On the package, on the tube, whatever. Again, don't try to play veterinarian. Because let me tell you what you will do. The possibility of killing them with kindness comes out. I provided all the carrots. I did everything else. Yeah, well, the horse needed hay, not carrots. So don't kill them with kindness. Make sure you understand what you're giving them. No home remedies, Mom and Dad. Don't mix everything with molasses. That's not a cure-all. So provide the minerals, provide the electrolytes. The horse will tell you the rest.
Free choice of water. Never use it as a replacement for water.
Absolutely. You know, why do we use electrolytes would be the question. Well, it supplements performance and recovery. That's the key issue. If a horse does, in fact, sweat a lot, profusely sweat, recovery time is the key issue. So if, in fact, ahead of the schedule, you provided the fresh water, provided the electrolytes in whatever form you choose, you followed the instructions, you stayed with the instructions per your veterinarian on what to do, not us, your veterinarian, you provide all of that, you should be just fine. Make sure your horse is in condition, because if they're not, they're going to sweat even more, just like you and I trying to work out. Did I say me and work out in the same sentence? I did.
You did.
In the same sentence, okay?
But we know the truth.
Wow, but the recovery time is ridiculous. So there's all different things. Enlighten yourself. Educate yourself on what electrolytes are and what's involved in electrolytes. That's really what you need to do. All of these things, we know you're trying to help your horse. There's no negative to this unless you try to help them without understanding what you're doing. That's the calls that we get a lot. And don't put yourself in a position to hurt them, by over giving or overdosing or anything like that. So
Yeah, it was a great question, and this time of year is the perfect opportunity.
certainly.
People are showing, people are hauling, stress from hauling can lead to that. There's just all kinds of factors. So
Hey, one more thing, I just thought about it. If you're at a competition or even at home, give them 2 buckets of water, one with water and electrolytes, one without. Do a little testing, see what they do. They have all kinds of water flavorers out there, and some of the horses really like it. So what are you trying to do? Well, you're trying to maintain the balance of the electrolytes. That's number one. But you're trying to maintain overall gut health, and that they are hydrated, and that in an effort to avoid like colic or tying up or any of those kind of things, you want to make sure that gut continues to move. Free choice hay, clean fresh water, electrolyte powder in one bucket if that's what you decide to do. A mineral brick. This thing solves a lot of
It
problems,
sure
and
does.
you can go just with free, white salt. That's okay. They come in mineral bricks. We usually just take a hammer, put eye protection on, hit it right in the middle of the hammer, give them half of a block to start out with. You'll be amazed the next morning how many of your horses have licked that thing into a slick pattern. It's amazing. So do what you can to replace all of that. Jen, great question, and we wish you all luck. And do horses that are not in competition need electrolytes? Certainly. It's part of the normal bodily function. So yes, they've got to have that available. Maybe a mineral brick will do that for you. Go from there. Okay.
So you guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, follow. We love answering your questions. We're going to start getting more involved with the horses and actually show you with horses. Get away from the desk for a little bit. And speaking of questions, we want to hear from you. So my next question for our audience is, are you ready for it?
No. Read it.
Well, you're going to be ready for
I'm ready.
it. All right.
I'll be ready.
What is something you do for your horse because you were taught it, but you never actually questioned why? We want to hear from you. See you on the next episode.
Well, I have a quote of the day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go for the quote of the day.
And it's in Horse Sense and Training. It's in the book. Think about this for just a minute. It's better to want the horse you don't have than to have the horse you don't want. It's been real.